Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Royal Rumble Day Superstars of Wrestling review 1/19/1991. This is the day of the Royal Rumble, so historic day on that day. I love the fact that they used to have shows to hype the pay-per-views on the same day most of the time or same weekend. Just made it extra special. Not that they don't have, Raws or SmackDowns or whatever for hype these days, but it's just not quite the same. At least not to me, it isn't. Anyway, we move through into what is a Saturday night Rumble, and the hype is there. Rumble, of course, at this point, one of the 4 pay-per-views of the year. Jake Roberts is in an enhancement match with, I believe, Bob Bradley on this particular occasion. Roberts, of course, wanting to get his hands on Rick Martel after the issues with his vision, which culminate in the blindfold match at WrestleMania 7. So we're several months away from that. Thinking that runs all the way from Survivor Series, or before Survivor Series actually, probably about October, through Mania is just amazing to me that feuds lasted that long back in the day. Roberts does the tip up and over on the arm. Roberts really a masterful psychologist. No big surprise there. Hype's wanting to get his hands on Martel in the Royal Rumble in an inset promo and gets the DDT, nails it. We go to a Royal Rumble last minute report. Obviously, we hype the 4 main matches that go into that. DiBiase and Virgil against the Rhodeses, Dusty and Dustin Rhodes. DiBiase basically says he's going to eliminate the Rhodes and his money is what's going to lead it. Dusty says he's raised his son well. He is sure that father and son are going to handle things. And Dustin fires up and looks like $1 million here. Of course, this is the night of the Virgil turn, which is historic at the time. Virgil been with DiBiase all the way from his entry in late 87 through this point in 1991. So, over a 3-year run there. Earthquake in an enhancement match here. Earthquake, one of the final 3 combatants in the 91 Royal Rumble, if I remember correctly. So he's got a big night ahead in that regard. But Earthquake still looking like $1 million here. 91 and 92, are still favorite years of mine. I love 88 through 92 is my favorite WWF time. 92 through summer of 94, my favorite time in WCW. I love the early 90s stuff when everyone was so critical. It's what I grew up on as a kid. Jump kick by John Tenta, aka Earthquake. And the big man can do a lot of cool stuff for his size, without a doubt. And so, Irish whip, back elbow there, and, shots taken, and ultimately, big Earthquake splash, and ultimately, there you go, 1, 2, 3, and, I believe, Black Bart and W.T. Jones are your enhancement talent for the next match here against the Hart Foundation, the tag team champions of the World Wrestling Federation at the time. Of course, they're headed towards a collision course with the Nasty Boys over the next few months, but that's not known yet in this point of history. Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart kind of going at it. Black Bart, of course, a former WCCW World Class Championship Wrestling World Champion. If you haven't already, please go listen to our entire WCCW run, over 340 episodes there. Bret Hart with a hard hip toss. Hart still looks like $1 million even here in 1991. He's about 5 months away from winning the Intercontinental Championship for the first time. So, pivotal time for Bret. He pivots, no pun intended, pretty quickly after this series of of matches. By April or so, he's on the singles run. By August, he's your Intercontinental Champion. Warlord in the event center talking about wanting to handle things at the Rumble. Shane Douglas cuts a rather awkward "I'm a new guy" promo. Basically says he knows he's the underdog. He's been told he's the underdog, but he's not worried about it. Greg Valentine says that he wants to win the Royal Rumble, and that of course he would sign up. Hawk talks about the possibility of facing Animal in the Rumble. Power and Glory talk about going at it with each other in the Rumble. Basically, any team is not sacred when it comes to the Royal Rumble match. 30 men strive to survive over top rope elimination. We've got an enhancement talent match for the Intercontinental Champion Curt Hennig, a.k.a. Mr. Perfect, here next. Perfect talks about him being perfect, and that's why he'll win the Rumble. Bobby Heenan still with him. Heenan only with him for a few more months. Heenan phases out of that by just before SummerSlam, probably a month or two before SummerSlam. Hennig putting on a little weight. He's pretty stocky at this point. Hits a couple axe handles and basic stuff, basic wrestling, and then a perfect plex for the victory here. Obviously, Mr. Perfect going to hold on to that Intercontinental Championship through the summer of '91, where he drops it to Bret Hart at SummerSlam. But we move into kind of a rerun promo. The Rockers talk about going at it with the Orient Express, having fought Fuji's people before. Fuji promises pain and torture for the Rockers at the Rumble. That particular match, if you haven't seen it, worth going out of your way to check that out. If you're a newer fan, younger fan, who wasn't around to enjoy 1991 wrestling, the Orient Express and Rockers match from '91, vaunted as one of the best tag team wrestling matches at the time in the WWF, maybe anywhere at the time. Obviously, still does hold up a bit today. Anyway, Bushwhackers in, Rick Hunter in the Gladiator outfit. Bushwhackers, obviously, very basic matches, nothing really worth writing home about. They hit the double gutbuster and work the arm before hitting the battering ram for the victory. Sergeant Slaughter promises to win, wearing turban and all, promises to win the championship at the Royal Rumble. That is a pretty hefty promise that he makes. And so that's what's there. He is obviously prophetic. Winning the championship is what he ends up doing. We go to a Royal Rumble report with Gene Okerlund here, and then we move through that, kind of talking about Jim Duggan talking about how he has won a Rumble already, how he's going to attack. There's nothing else he plans to do but do exactly that. Then Randy Savage says he's going to be historic. He's going to win the Rumble and go on to face the winner of the Warrior. He plans to end the Warrior's reign, even though he hasn't been given the shot. Hogan promises to do his best to win the Rumble and avenge the American people as they are in battle in Kuwait and all of that. And of course, they hype the other matches as well. That closes us out for this particular edition on the night of the Rumble. A little bit shorter review next episode, as it is heavily including the Rumble matches, some of them anyway. But until then, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.